about this some other time. Yeah, they've added some new stuff here. That's fun. All right, let's get this show started.
It's time for a little Funky Friday. From their funky hidden headquarters, your hosts, Keith and Gary. Not Jerry.
Hey, I
Keith
know that song.
and Perry. Teeth and Perry. Teeth. It's big old teeth.
Oh,
and
God.
Perry.
Wow.
Yeah, my God. Wow.
I like
Some
the music.
beastly teeth right there. Teeth and Perry.
Howdy, everybody.
What, hun?
I like the new music.
What'd you say?
I like the
Oh,
music.
thank you.
I know that song.
Nice bumper music.
you.
Change the TGIF intro. I just noticed that, so just wanted to say.
Yeah, I felt like using my own music. So,
Good
I
stuff.
love that song.
And you will be claimed for it.
Yeah, probably. Happened
I
before.
swear to God, they pull that shit again. Claiming me for my own music. I'm like, go fuck yourself.
Yep.
Somebody go through the chat here. We got Tim is here. Tim gets his video. Do his video.
Okay, let me. Oh, we don't have it here.
Yes, it is. It is there.
Oh,
because I
yes.
left it
Yes,
there.
yes.
By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
I have the video section
And
pulled up.
Jax is there too. So let's
They
see.
need to be
Tim is here.
monsters.
Oh, man,
let's
we have that-
see. Sentai Ranger Donnie is here. What is up, buddy? We got Penny is here. Greetings, Penny. Andy Morrow, our good limey friend. We have so many limey friends. A lot of limeys watch us. I think it's because of my snark. I don't know. Because, my humor is very British. And by the way, I was just talking to another, an actual comedic actor friend of mine. It's been stuff with John Cleese. And he really liked this new song, And he said, I really like what you did there. And I said, the word inexorably is in the song. And the funny part is when I did the original recording, I said inexorably because I grew up watching British television. And that's how you pronounce inexorably over in the UK. But it's inexorably. And so when the new version, it got over enunciated. It was funny to me. Everybody likes it, but it caught my attention. It's like, that is not how I say that word. That is not how I say that word. So D. Bud Martin is here, the hardest working wrench in the business right now. How are you doing, my friend? Hope everybody's having a happy Friday. I know that mine doesn't suck too bad. So yay. Any day above the ground is better than any day below the ground.
Hell yeah.
Unless you live in a basement that's, really well decorated, then that would be awesome. So living underground would be great. Let's see. So we are going to be talking about William Shatner and his show, Shit My Dad Says. And it was
Sure it's
based
not
on
stuff?
No.
Yeah, it's bleep. My dad says when it did the TV show, but I followed that account on Twitter. I really enjoyed his anecdotes, and his dad cracked me up. And there's certain things he said that reminded my own dad, but his dad was, I don't know, far more entertaining. And it just it grew. This guy he was working for Maxim and for their online magazine, and got laid off and went to go move in with his girlfriend, and that failed. So then he ended up moving back home with his parents. Now on the show, he moves in with his dad. His mom's gone. But the original pilot, which you'll see because I'm going to be showing you the original trailer in 10-second clips. In that trailer, you see a different actor playing the son. And it's kind of weird because I'm not sure exactly why they did a last-minute recasting. And they had to reshoot, I think, 2 episodes, the pilot and the second episode. And it's really kind of odd. And I do like, though, that Justin Halpern, who is the creator of the blog that became a book, that became a TV series, that he remained a producer on the show and one of the writers. So it had that air of authenticity to it with some of the shit that he would get William Shatner to say. And Shatner was great in it. The show failed, and it just didn't catch on, and was replaced mid-season by Rules of Engagement, which is also another great show. I love that show, but I was always pissed because I felt this show was targeted, and this is right when all that shit was beginning. Keith, you know what I'm talking about? When they started going after shows too edgy, and we're trying to be funny without checking the boxes.
Well,
And
they started
this
going
show was
after
absolutely. Well, this show was bombed. Attacked by the critics because they didn't like the humor, even though you can listen to the audience fucking laughing at these jokes. That's what's important, is the audience. But the critics were attacking it because they wanted this show shut down. And immediately when the pilot was reviewed, the network decided to not really support the show. And they the marketing for it was very good. And it died. And it wasn't getting viewership, because that's what happens, by the way. Your numbers drop when that shit starts happening. And they had 21 million viewers first episode. Huge. But then it dropped to half that. And I think it's because of the marketing again. Because the shit
Not only that, look what Penn is saying here. The time kept changing. So
they kept changing. Oh my God! You know that when the network is wanting to destroy a show, they'll change the day and time on it. And I will point out too that one thing I really liked about it was when the show did get canceled. Justin told his dad. And his dad's response was, I got to find it here because it made me laugh. Here it is. Well, I liked it. It was kind of shitty at first, but I thought it got a lot better as they went along. You know what show I like? Cheers. Now, that was a good show. He's like, he'd rather watch Cheers than a show about himself. I love that. And basically, the show started. Ryan Devlin was playing the part of the son, Justin, on the show. And I don't know why he was recast, because I'm going to show you some clips with him. I thought he did okay. But for some reason, somebody panicked last minute, literally. And they recast Ryan Devlin with Jonathan Sadowski. And the kid's good. But I thought Ryan Devlin felt more genuine, like it was less shtick. Also, they fired the girlfriend, and because he was following the true story, because he moved in with his girlfriend before moving in with his dad, and they completely cut her out of the reshoot, and she never returned. So they fired her, and they cut that out and reshot it. And they made him the dad, even more curmudgeonly. And you can kind of sense that when you watch the trailer, because I'm going to go ahead and start showing the trailer now in 10-second increments, so we don't get claimed by CBS because they're real twats, you know.
The show is the relationship of father and two sons.
It was originally a Twitter site that was created by a guy named Justin Halpern. When I was...
So there's Justin. You actually got a glimpse of him there for a split second. Very dopey looking guy, balding, and very funny guy. He's very droll. I love his humor. Yeah. And it just makes me giggle. And that's why I followed him and read his blog, because I thought this stuff is funny and his reactions to it. But now here we get to see a little bit more.
A Twitter site that was created by a guy named Justin Halpern. When I was trying to put it on Twitter, they made you fill out all this stuff. What do you want to call it? I was like, oh, this is my dad says.
Hit my dad says. And that's what it was called.
Yeah.
That was the Twitter. My dad said.
I remember following it on Twitter, and it made my day to read all of the latest tweets from Justin when he was putting that out. So I could identify with a lot of that stuff. I think a lot of people.
Because I think you identify with it. I identify with it because we had dads like that. And my dad would just say, just some of the, and my dad was so not racist, but he would say things that, and he was trying to be so candid in how he's saying things. I was sit to go, Dad, if I were anybody else, I'd be yelling racist at you. And just fucking killing me with some of the shit he would say. And of course, a lot of that was directed, even though this is a guy who volunteered to go defend Israel back in the 60s. He would make some very critical statements about the elite Jewish business people of Hollywood and New York. And he would criticize it for what they do, the way they run business. And I'm like, you probably got a legitimate argument here, but boy, you really do sound like Mel Gibson when he's drunk on the side of a road right now, Dad.
When are you going to introduce me to this girlfriend of yours?
Oh, no. Sam's just my roommate. She's not my girlfriend.
Why not?
She dated my best friend for years. You don't mow another guy's lawn.
Wow.
Mow another guy's lawn. Wait for it. There's a great retort to this. This is Shatner nailing this character so good. But that's the kid that I'm talking about. That's Devlin, that played the son in the first pilot and second episode that they had to reshoot and recast.
You do if the house is abandoned and the lawn is begging to be mowed.
The first time we heard about this Twitter account, we knew that it was a television show.
Wow.
Yeah. There's just so much material there.
I think part of it is the fact that I find myself between that right now. I mean, my kids now are on their own, and I've got two boys, and I can identify with a lot of that, and I see, compared to when this show came out, I think back then I was kind of identifying with Justin, but as I get older, I find myself more and more thinking that I can understand where a lot of that is coming from with his dad. Or at least the way
I'm a curmudgeonly person.
Yeah.
I'm very curmudgeonly. So I totally identify with the dad. But I've always been that way. So I always identified with the dad in this.
Mm-hmm.
And
now, I think everybody, regardless of age or generation, is going to go through that process. Our kids are looking at us like that father, but eventually they will become that father.
Yeah.
Not at the same level of intensity, but every generation sees their father like, oh man, I love him, but sometimes wow. And then one day one said, "Oh my God, I'm becoming my father." I sounded just like him.
Oh, that's the way it usually works in life.
Yeah, because
you know.
your kids make you realize, and that they always get to you when you say, "Oh, that's why that was like
Uh-huh.
like that."
I've been having those conversations. You know, that's been coming up, and especially the one son that has all the kids for now is
Oh, he has a monopoly.
he's realizing, he's been saying, it's like, okay, I get it now. You
Mm.
know. On the one hand, it's kind of cool to hear that.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you know, it's kind of weird, you know, because I never thought I would hear it. I didn't do all this to hear my sons say that. I was just, at the time when I said a lot of that stuff, I was just trying to be, trying to be the dad. I was trying to say the dad stuff and do the dad thing. And now I hear a lot of what I say coming out of his mouth now.
How old is your son?
My boys are almost 30.
Oh,
So.
yeah, that's around the age. Oh my God, I remember I was 27 when I sat down with my mom, and I told her, "Yeah, mom, you were right in almost everything. I was a dumbhead." Yeah.
It
Yeah,
makes
I
me.
remember talking to my son Ben one day, and he was sitting there just going on about something, and my response to what he said to me was, "Well, son, you know that boys are idiots until they're 26." And he goes, "Well, I'm 25." And I went, "You get it." And he goes, "Oh."
You walked right
The
into
same
that
thing.
Man, when is Ben gonna be here again? I remember that show.
I
that
don't
you
know. I
used.
haven't talked to him in a bit, so I really do need to touch bases with him. See how he's
Dude,
doing.
that show was
If he'd
awesome.
like to come on and rant about something. And
I just
so
I,
maybe if I talk about a show that he likes, like He-Man, shit like that. If we do that on here, I'll invite him.
Man,
I wonder what.
No.
I just wonder what he thinks of the casting of the new actor that they've casted for He-Man for the live action. That would be interesting to get his
I
perspective.
can ask
Who
him.
is
I
it
can shoot him
now?
an email.
Who is it now?
Oh,
Who
I
is it?
forgot
Who?
the dude's name, but I mean they just had announced the other day.
Can you
that
find
they've
out?
Casted. Sure, I'll find out right now.
Okay, I know everybody's kind of pissed with him, but I've still said that the better actor for He-Man, not Adam, He-Man, Alan Richardson. I know, everybody's pissed at him. I understand, but he looks like freaking He-Man.
Yeah, his career is going to hit the skids here for a little bit. It's one thing to be liberal; it's another one to go completely left lunatic and say stupid, crazy shit and attack people in the process. Don't do that. You don't do that.
There we go.
So, did you find
From
out who it is?
Variety. Nicholas Galitzine. Galitzine. This was from Variety on May 29th.
Spell that last name again.
Galitzine?
Galitzi.
Oh,
Galitzine.
Can you spell
Here,
it? I'm typing it out right now as you say, say it. So
holy shit, no.
Galitzine?
No,
Yes,
he's
that's
a
it.
pencil neck.
No.
The actor, he's a pencil neck.
I'm sure he's gonna work out.
He's too young.
So the fucking last name, for Christ's sake. What is the last name?
G
Shut up, Martin.
Galitzine.
Okay,
like
now,
a
if you guys
medicine
hadn't
name.
been talking over me, I actually spelled it to you that way, and nobody responded to me. So I had it right. Okay. All right, there. I sent him a fucking message. My God, our connections are so bad today. Talking over each other. It's ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. Makes me want to play a video.
I know that I, Jefe, do not have your superior intellect and education. But could it be that once again, you are angry at something else and are looking to take it out on me?
There you go. That was
I identify with that guy.
Knew you would like it, Martin.
We have sex in our midst.
Yeah, sex.
Here we go.
Hey, fuck you, Kyle.
There you go, Kyle. So again, I want to play this is the fifth segment from the trailer. There are a total of 13, 14, 15 segments from that trailer. That's how to break it up.
This was going to stand out because of two words. William Shatner.
Last week when I got my hair cut and you said I looked like a lesbian in the Navy?
A lesbian in the Navy saved my life.
I like this kid better.
Yeah, me too.
I gotta admit,
Still-
I kind of like this kid, and I don't know why they recast him.
Yeah, but still, I don't think the other one deserves.
Two sons, and he's not quite sure about either one of them at this point.
The relationship between Vince and his father is a little strained.
Vince, you are a fabulous son.
So you were starting to say something, Anima, and I would already click play.
Anima? Oh, I think she's. You have to move away.
Well, it's a good
I
cast.
have to move. What the fuck?
Yeah, she's away from keyboard.
Right. Okay.
Than he deserves. What's his nickname?
I don't want to.
I would like to hear you say it just so you can hear the words
It's
yourself.
going to be James Gandolfini.
I think everybody needs each other.
James Gandolfini.
Will Sasso
awesome.
is amazing, and just
He was my favorite part of the show, other than William Shatner.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, Nicole Sullivan also, because I think the two of them
Two
I saw play
Mad
off-
TV alumni.
Yeah.
Hey, Gab.
Hey, Gap, how you doing, man? Wait a second. Did Zach say something? Kenny G is the new He-Man.
It would be better if you ask me, but you won't.
Would you say he has a plethora of He-Mans?
Holy shit, no. I keep seeing
I
pictures
love
of the guy, and no, he's not. No, oh my God, no.
I was terrified
Well-
showing Anima that movie, The Three Amigos. She fucking was laughing so hard at that movie. It made me so happy because it's such a silly comedy, and I love it so much that I was like, please don't hate it. And she
Even
actually
in
loved it.
even in the Orville, they
hate
made an homage to that movie.
It's silly in the
You
right
hate
way.
some things that I really love. You
I hate
hate
silly
some things
funny
that I
when
really
when
love.
it's annoying. But this one, it's so over the top. It's
Because
great.
another film I want to do is also kind of a nod
Strange
/ parody.
Brew, right?
Is Rustler's Rhapsody. because I love Rustler's Rhapsody. There's a great movie. Tom Berenger, what's her name from Taxi? Patrick Wayne is a villain. Andy Griffith is in it. Oh my God, what a cast! And it's a spoof on westerns, especially the singing cowboy westerns.
Is it funnier
So,
than the villain?
Metallica's here.
Oh, the villain is also.
Oh, by a margin. By a margin.
Awesome ones here too.
Don't get me wrong. I enjoy the villain, but they didn't even put any effort into that movie, man. I mean, when he goes to pull the Wile E. Coyote thing and jump off the cliff onto the train, you can see the stunt bag that he lands into bounce upward. And they left it in the shot. All they had to do was zoom in a little bit and it would have cut it. But oh well. I do love that movie.
Funny,
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Gary. Sometimes it's funny when you see shit like that. I mean, on news radio, when Matthew falls all the time, sometimes you see that he's falling on a mattress because there's a corner sticking out, and it makes it even more funny, I think.
Yeah. So let me get back to these videos here. I see Awesome One is here too. What's up?
Father needs the sons need the father.
There's real heart in the show.
This is the song you and Mom used to dance to after you put me to bed.
How do you remember that?
I love that. How do you remember that?
You were 5 years old. You had more years than teeth.
Oh, some things you just remember.
The best of amusement comes from when you understand and love somebody and then find them amusing.
I'm not even getting this. They're not even playing for me. I'm hoping that these trailers are playing.
They are.
These clips are playing for you guys. Because that one didn't even show up for me. It just showed my mic went mute and then came back on.
Yeah, that's what it did for me when I had bad connection. It's your word.
Dad might be a little difficult, but he's still Dad. Thought we could have a little one-on-one time.
You want to braid each other's hair and talk about boys?
He's a father figure in a very specific way that's also very relatable.
Wow.
Man. I really like this kid, and I'm not sure. I would really love to know because I couldn't find anything on why they fired him or replaced him.
What's his name?
Devin. John Devin, I think. Ryan Devlin.
Okay, let me try to.
Quick with a quip, short with his temper.
Tell me what the topmost image is.
2 squirrels fornicating. What the hell does it look like? It's a gigantic E.
And the line below that?
Let me see. F-U.
Okay.
The line below that is one of my favorite ones.
It's liberating to see somebody just say whatever they're thinking.
Yeah, it's like
Hey, Pope.
that is just so
Hey,
freaking
Pope.
funny.
How's it going, boys?
Hey, Pope.
How's it going, everybody? Good to be here.
It goes. It goes.
I
Yeah,
heard you say
great
boys.
seeing you,
That's
dude.
Okay.
Wow.
So here we go. I'm going to finish up this trailer through clips. We're down to the last 4 clips. 3 clips.
Now, if he does something tomorrow, that would be news. Doing this kind of 4-cam of comedy, you're on tiptoes with the audience. So you've got to be like dancing, and it gets to be fun. Stay with me.
My.
I'm telling you, I wish they had kept the original kid. I think the show would have been even better. Because he looks like such a nerdy kid.
Why can't someone do a good impression of me?
It's a family comedy, which is something that everyone can agree upon, everyone can relate to.
You're going to laugh when you see it. That's, to me, what a comedy should be.
Yeah, and they, it's so cool that they got 2 of the alum from Mad TV as playing a husband and wife. Because I love those 2.
They are comedy veterans.
Great
That's so
casting.
good.
They're
No,
veterans and they
that's
got
awesome.
great
Very well.
chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although the
So
entire
here's the
Mad
last
TV
clip.
cast used to be like that.
Yeah. Here's the last clip.
We've been in front of one audience. They stood up and applauded. Were they applauding just because they were glad to get out of there? I don't know.
Oh, he's so modest.
Because it was fucking funny
Yeah.
is why.
It's heartbreaking to read the bad
And,
reviews on IMDb. I'm like, what's wrong with these people?
Some people just hate fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. They brought in James Burrows, and you've got some comedy when James Burrows walks over and says, "I'll direct that." And because he is magic, he is gold when it comes to comedy. I mean, Taxi, Cheers, Frasier, so many shows in the '90s and late '80s that he worked on, and he always goes to where the comedy is.
Mm-hmm.
And this show
back then you were
was
allowed to be
chock full of
funny.
good writing. This show is not. That was the problem. It had crossed the line with the critics and probably some executives that didn't like it. Oh, I don't like that kind of humor. I think it's in bad taste. It's insulting to certain groups, and we got to care about people's feelings. And it's like, you know what? Fuck off. If you had your feelings hurt by a joke, then it was told correctly.
Yes, exactly.
So I want to show this clip in particular because he did a stunt on the show that Anna and I looked at. What did he just do that? And yes, he did. And it was a kind of a return to T.J. Hooker. Here, I'll play this video real quick.
Wow. They gotta
Stuff he does.
they gotta protect that man. Shatner is way too valuable. We can't afford to lose him right now.
We need to clone him.
Well, there's this one episode where he wants some, I forgot what it was, some kind of ball or something. And the guy sells it to somebody else and doesn't give the name. So he needs to get behind the counter to get to the name. So Henry, his son, is supposed to distract him. And Shatner just kind of leaps over the counter, knocking down shit. And then he leaps back over the other side, knocking down everything on the other side. And they're like, I can't believe he's doing that at his age. Like, that thing is hip high. And he's just flinging himself over that. That's unbelievable. Even more so if you know that they shoot in front of a live audience. And he's doing stuff like that. That's just amazing.
You know, there's absolutely no reason why they could not bring this show back on Netflix.
Other than a few very annoyed and offended people.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I mean, they could easily do this show right now. I mean, if Shatner was willing to do it, I could see them just starting up again.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
In age? I don't know.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I would love for it. I would love for it. I thought.
You know, one of the things I love about William Shatner is that his last name could be turned into a verb, chatting on people.
Yes. Yep.
And I love that. I follow him on Twitter, and he kills me with some of the shit he says to idiots on social media.
I feel like after 2015 or so, that man just stopped giving a shit.
I think it happened long before that.
I mean,
Imagine a sketch like this: is Ed Goodson fishing with a partner, and the other person who's fishing with him, Denny Crane.
Yes.
Shut up!
The greatest characters on television ever, Denny Crane.
It's a shut-off.
Oh my god! Oh my god! So I just looked over on Midnight's Edge Facebook page, and it's got Pete Davidson has started a relationship with actress Jenna Ortega.
What?
And I wrote, It's simply put, he has to be stopped. 'Cause I cannot stand Pete
He
Davidson.
destroys everything he touches.
He's like, yeah, he's just garbage. A walking, burning trash can of garbage.
I think I better say this. Homeboy must be packing for him to bag that many ladies. I'm sorry.
Kardashians, he's dipping it everywhere.
Meanwhile, most
I cannot
people
stand
that
that
are well-adjusted look at him like, how was that allowed to live to adulthood?
I'm sorry, but
You savage.
It's like, hey, Pete, did your mom chase you around as a kid with a vacuum cleaner trying to finish the job?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I actually did this at some guy was heckling me when I was doing stand-up. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, the world's only living abortion.
Oh.
Just let me check. Are we still on air?
Yeah,
Are we
I
canceled?
tell you,
I
man,
think we are.
they're gonna. It's jokes like that that'll get me canceled. Thanks, Gary. I too experienced the joy of Shatner.
I pride myself on the ability to
Sentai
laugh
Ranger
at
Donnie says, I have seen a few episodes of Shit My Dad Says, yet I might binge it at some point. Please do. But I recommend the episode where he babysits the dog, watch it after they get the dog. Because for some reason, they moved it. They rotated it 2 or 3 episodes and put it before they had the dog. And
I mean, the
it's
episode
really
is
weird.
fun in itself, but it's way more fun when you watch it after they get the dog. So when you reach that episode where it's about babysitting the dog, stop it, skip it, go ahead, and after they have it, watch it. It's even better.
Yeah. You know what? I was just going to say, if you truly love this show, who you need to contact is Warner Brothers. That's who you really need to contact.
It's actually available through Amazon, but I think you have to pay for it. It's, if I recall correctly, hold on, I'll double check. Let me double check.
I'd be surprised if Amazon had anything for free. That's good.
So you could get in touch with Warner Brothers, but at this point, they've laid off so many people. I don't know that anyone's answering the phone.
Probably not. Yeah.
That might seem to be a problem, but yeah.
Oh, I know. But you'll probably be talking to some guys in a call center in India.
Hello, my name is Todd. How may I help you?
Guys, our call center is in Turkey, and the emails we have to deal with, I shit you not. It takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes sometimes for us to find out what does he tell us about the customer. It's funny.
I just, the thing about this is Justin, very funny guy, came up with another idea that got turned into a series for
it's not
Fox.
available for stream anymore.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, Penny said it's completely impossible to find it anywhere. And I think she has all the services because she's watching a lot of stuff. And she could.
I know that. Well, you can always watch it on F Movies. It's available on F Movies. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Let me go real quick through my list of favorite episodes. Because I went and I found this Episode Ninja website, and they nailed it. They got the episodes in the right order of what best. Number 1 is Code Ed instead of Code Red, Code Ed. And it is episode 4 is the single best episode of the series. Followed immediately by episode 17, followed by episode 14, episode 5, episode 11, episode 8, and oh my God, the Corn Star is like my number 3 favorite episode. That's when his neighbor's trying to through the homeowner association is trying to force him to cut his corn stalks down in his house, and he fights him, and eventually is nominated and elected as the head of the HOA. And then he ends up banging her. God this show is so freaking funny. And
of course he ends up banging her. He's goddamn James Kirk. He has to bang her by the end of the episode.
Kirk. And we need to have that. I should have had a clip of that when Bones McCoy looks at him after he kisses the young alien in Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. And he leans down the bunk, looks over the edge of the top bunk down at him, and he goes, "What is it with you?" he's always lucky with the ladies. He totally shat on her. Yeah. All over.
Face, neck, and chest.
Another great episode that I liked is the Better Father episode when Vince and Bonnie learned that the Reverend. Now, this is something that's been used in other comedies before. It's also used in Rules of Engagement. That Vince and Bonnie, that's Will Sasso, and what's her name? Nicole. I forget
Sullivan.
Her name. Sullivan. That the Reverend was drunk and did not legally marry them, and so they have to perform their ceremony. But he's too big for his tuxedo now. So the whole episode is him crying.
Is too big for him.
Yeah,
Gary.
Is that what it is? Either way, he lost weight.
He's on the bed crying.
So now
I'm so ugly. I'm so ugly.
I'm so ugly. It's so fucking funny. He's the bride. They flipped the story where he's the bride having a meltdown.
Because he lost weight at that too. It's completely
Has Shatner ever played a villain? Yes, of course he did. He did in the, what is that movie called? Loaded Weapon? Was that it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he did
Loaded
the
Weapon
same
1.
kind of character that Ricardo Montalban played in one of the Naked Gun films.
Yeah, thank you, Ebert. I knew he was a bad guy in Colombo. I didn't know he was twice.
Which
I think
I've heard bad rumblings that they're gonna remake the Naked Gun.
Oh no, please.
No.
It's a continuation.
Yes.
It is. He is Frank Drebin's son. Look, I'm going to give you this. That Leslie Nielsen was a dramatic actor. And he was good at comedy because his character is unaware it's a comedy.
Yep.
And Liam Neeson has done that. And it fucking works when he does it.
That's true.
He did it in Ted. And it just knocked it out of the park. About trick cereal. Oh my God, that was so funny.
You have to be
that this is only for children and it's illegal for adults to buy it. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And the thing is, his face is so whacked up, like he comes right from a fight.
I think the key is that with this version, if you don't try to put him to make him more like Leslie Nielsen, and you keep him as he is and play to his strengths, I think you have a shot at making a really good comedy, which is what it should be. It should be funny. You're having fun with the whole premise of what this is. And I think when they created the original series that all these films are based on, that was really the key. And of course, William Shatner was in one of the opening episodes of the show, Police Squad. Although the trick is he was never actually in the episode. He was just in the opening credit for that particular
Yeah, it's one of the
episode.
gags they would do.
Yep.
Special guest this episode, William Shatner. And then he's never in the show.
They sit him down at this restaurant, and then you hear the tire squeal. You see Shatner look up, and he ducks down. You see the bullets go right through the back of the seat where he was sitting, and he sits up.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
like
that's
this
it.
dramatic clip, and he's never in the episode. I just loved that show. It's another show that was misunderstood. Was Police Squad.
Oh
and
God!
Just people didn't understand it at the studio and at the network. Audiences laughed at it,
Mhm.
but if the network doesn't get it or aren't behind it, the show is screwed. And that's what happened to this show. Again, I want to point it out that this was a hit job on the show. Let me just show you some more clips here. This is one of my favorite moments. Oh my God. Crazy ass boss and the moment where they're sitting watching American Idol. I think it's American Idol or the talent show, whatever it's called. Here we go.
God, what the hell happened to Paula Abdul? She looks terrible.
Dead. That's Steven Tyler.
Oh, he looks good.
You know, he's not wrong.
Wait, there's more to it. There's more to it because this is the next moment where they're still watching the show.
Oh my God, what happened to Oprah? She looks terrible.
That's Randy Jackson.
Oh, it looks good.
Looks good,
man. Are you aware that Shatner has a new show upcoming? It's called The Elevator.
Well, he still has a show on right now, that reality show where he, he's the host of an investigation show about mysteries. And they took my advice and stopped showing him standing. They have him sitting now because he just looks so uncomfortable in those suits.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to get to these chat comments. I want to finish this clip. This is another one. This is when Will Sasso and Nicole set the brother up with their boss, who's a psycho. And you'll know her. She's been in a lot of things. Like my favorite thing she was ever in was Josie and the Pussycats. She played Alexa.
Oh,
Alexa.
yes.
Alexa. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was great. She's so funny. So anyway, he goes out on a date with her, and then he comes home, and it did not go well.
Both my boys are fine.
Here's your listing.
Wow.
They didn't even go on a
Wait
date.
for it, because there's still more. No, she attacked him.
Yeah, he
And
went to
that's
pick
where
her
we
up at the
left
office
off, her
and
attacking him.
never left.
It's like they never got to go out on the date. The
Nope.
minute he showed up, she was ripping off clothes. And
She was never interested.
so here you go.
He was her dinner.
Here we go.
There's my tooth.
What the hell happened to you?
I went on a date with her crazy ass boss.
Missy Pyle.
At the end
Brilliant
Missy
comedian.
Pyle, that's her. She's great.
Yeah.
She is so funny, man. All right, the final clip from that. This one nails it, and it's got one of my favorite jokes in it because I love making this joke.
Hold on, what are you talking about?
She did something so profound and so disturbing to me that it would make German pornographers blush.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
You notice he was fighting smiling because
Yep.
he knew it was funny. You could see it in his face. He was fighting it.
He's always like that. He's always fighting the laugh in the show.
But not always as obviously as in this one. And that's what makes it more fun.
I just love this show so much. And it broke my heart that they didn't continue it, that the network didn't put any effort into this show at all. And instead, they had already had another show they were planning on with David Spade as one of the main characters. And they got Patrick Warburton in it. And it was like, yeah, we're gonna put all our eggs in this basket. And don't get me wrong, I fucking love Rules of Engagement, but this show should have been given a chance to run. It really should have.
Well,
Did you notice that Captain Shaw is in the show?
What?
I don't think I did notice that actually.
Captain Shaw from Picard season 3 is in this show. He's the
Oh, that's
boss,
right. Shit,
the
he is.
editor of the magazine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Good.
I always thought he was very, very poorly done in season 3 of Picard. He was one of the best characters in the show.
Yep.
Well, Justin,
you're talking about the guy that plays the publisher that hires the son, right? Because he's
Yes.
the same actor. Yeah, he's really good in this show. He plays a snarky
shitheel.
asshole. You know, he's just kind of a jerk. But he hires him. Here, I'm going to show this behind the scenes thing, and I don't think we're going to get claimed on it. So I'm going to play the whole video. If we do, I'll delete it later.
I'm Chris Grenner. I'm VP of Special Projects for CBS Advertising and Promotion. Today we're shooting a couple different things. We're shooting our print campaign for Bleep My Dad Said. We're also shooting something called 4D, which is a new image campaign for CBS. And we're getting behind the scenes.
If they claim it, fuck them. I'll just delete it. But I thought it was cute. You know, it's not informative. It was kind of cute getting to see him behind the scenes.
Was.
But Emma and I watched the whole series, and she was as taken with it as I was the first time I watched it.
From the first moment.
I watched it when it aired. Yeah, I watched it way back in 2010 when it aired, and I just thought he only started the blog thing a year before in 2009, and this show got put together in that short period of time. That blew my mind because I started reading it in 2009.
He got
when he first started.
He got another show on Fox that came on in 2013.
Who, Shat?
No, Justin Halpern. Based on his autobiographical book called "I Suck at Girls," and
Surviving
it's called
Jack.
Surviving Jack. That was the name of the show, with Christopher Maloney and Rachel Harris.
Here we go. I'm going to read a little bit from his early life here. Halpern grew up in the Point Loma neighborhood of San Diego, California. His father is Jewish, and his Italian-American mother is Catholic. Halpern's father, Samuel Halpern, is a retired doctor of nuclear medicine who practiced at the University of California, San Diego. He has been described as, quote, a profane comic genius, end quote. Again, quote, Lenny Bruce with a stethoscope, end quote. And, quote, a scatological Socrates showering rough wisdom on his son, end quote. Rough wisdom. Halpern attended Point Loma High School, where he was a pitcher on the school's champion baseball team. He also played baseball briefly at San Diego State University, where he graduated in 2003. He then headed to Hollywood to seek work as a screenwriter. There, he wrote screenplays and worked as a waiter, but success as a screenwriter kind of eluded him. I'm just really impressed with what he did. And I still am subscribed to him. He hasn't updated the page since 17, I think. I think that was the last update he did to Shit My Dad Said. And I don't know if his dad's still there or not, because he was already old when he did it. But I've got some pictures here to share with you. Like, here's a picture from when they were kids with his dad. And he's the one in the arms. That's him. Here he is with his dad at a ball game because they love baseball. His side eye that Justin's giving the camera as the dad looks over. And of course, this is the first book, Shit My Dad Says. It was basically just a collection of all the posts collected in a coherent fashion. And then the sequel book, More Shit My Dad Says. Oh my God.
I love the
Grow up
background.
in that
No
kind
wonder
of
he's good at
household.
comedy. He has a Jewish father and an Irish Catholic, or Italian Catholic mother. No wonder he's good at writing comedy.
And I'm telling you, the thing that's funny here is he has the same situation as Ben Stiller, and yet Ben's not that funny.
True.
I'm just kidding. I think
his dad is, unfortunately.
I like Ben Stiller. I don't think he's rip roaring hilarious, but he will make me laugh. Ben Stiller, like the outtakes on news radio of him, he even cracked up Phil Hartman when he just started going, just ad-libbing about, look, you're the lucky one. I got stuck with this job. I don't get to talk into a microphone and act like a monkey and like you see Phil trying to hold it together and he's like, what the fuck are you saying to me? What? Finally loses it on camera. And it's another show. We just talked about it a week ago, News Radio. That show. God damn it. Phil Hartman was pure fucking gold on that show. And so was Dave. Dave, the cast is amazing. The entire cast is. But that show would have gotten nowhere without Dave Foley and Phil Hartman. Because they were the framework for everybody else to work. To do.
Oh, yeah. They were
I also tell people
comedic geniuses.
Exactly. And the thing that was interesting is you had to understand, to get the show, to really appreciate it, you have to understand that everybody on that show is insane, except for Dave.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the only
Dave
sane
is
person in
the
that
only
office.
one that's sane on that show. Everybody else are like 5-year-olds.
So your average workplace.
What's that?
So your average office job.
Yeah, your
Pretty
average
much.
office job. But what were you going to say, Keith? What were you going to say?
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, it's insane to watch that show. Although for me, outside of Phil Hartman, to me, I also think that Stephen Root was also integral because you needed him to be that funny. You needed him to be like how he was. Everybody was there for a purpose. To me, it was like a very well constructed. It's like mixing a drink. You can't get too much of one thing or too much of another, or else you'll spoil it. And the news radio cast was properly put together, and but you couldn't have done without anyone else. But you definitely could not have done it without Dave Foley and Phil Hartman. Although for me, Stephen Root
And
also belongs up
amazingly,
there.
there is a lot of nerd in that show because I would have to stop the show while Anima's watching it to explain the multiple fucking movies and TV shows that were in one joke.
Yep.
One single joke. And it was just rapid fire jokes. And I'm like, oh my God. In that one joke, they reference like 3 or 4 movies. And I would pause and I would explain it to her. I'm like, what makes that joke funny is this. And like, I just love it when Beth came in and would make fun of Dave for being a Star Trek nerd. Okay. But then he references something else from another movie that's not science fiction at all. And she says, I don't know anything about your Star Trek nerd crap. Star Trek. There's a legitimate drama he just referenced. But they just really knew. And again, James Burrows. is attached to that show as a director.
Bob Odenkirk,
You
who
know,
did the last season, and
Bob Odenkirk. Yep.
David Anthony
Bob
Higgins.
Odenkirk. Oh, Cross is in it too. David Cross is in it.
Uh-huh.
So you had those two guys in that show. You know. Oh my God, the Office Rodent episode is one of my favorites because he hires Dave Foley's a heartless murderer, you know, because he hires an animal control person to come in there and a pest control person and to set up traps to catch this one rat. And they're describing his name is Mike, I think is what it was, Mikey or some shit like that. And he's a little white guy, a little black spot here. And then you hear the snap of one of the traps and it kills him. And they have a funeral. They dump it down the trash bin in the hallway. And then Dave feels bad about it. So he's like, okay, I'm going to have him remove the traps. But it's too late. Another rat is killed. And they're like, well, wait, we thought it was just one rat. By the end of it, they bury or kill all these rats.
Yeah, and then it turns out they haven't put them down the trash chute.
Oh, that's the punchline at the end of the show. That they have one last funeral. Then you see the maintenance guy from downstairs come up there and he goes, for the last time, the trash, whatever they call that, is over there. This is for mail. This is the So they've been dumping rats down the mail chute.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that show was fucking genius.
I also
And even after they lost Catherine, because she left in season 4. Yeah, season 4, and Phil died after season 4. So when they came back with season 5, that show is still one of the number 1 shows on NBC. Stayed that way. And the reason it got canceled was this political thing that you and I talked about, where they have to renew contracts. And without Phil Hartman, they didn't see the value of the show, the worthiness of doing the show any further. So they didn't want to renew any contracts. So they just let the show die. And they put all the money that was going to go into that show and put it in Third Rock from the Sun.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a dumb show. I never liked it. Love the cast. Never liked that show. I thought it was stupid. Shatner was on it, by the way.
Yes.
He played the leader of the
Giant Head.
Lithgow's World. Yeah.
Yes.
And I enjoyed that episode. I watched it from beginning to end. And by comparison, it's nothing compared to News Radio. News Radio was actual comedy. The only thing the only thing good that came out of that show is the kid. Because I think he's a good actor.
You know, I wonder if they ever tried to connect Third Rock from the Sun to Mork and Mindy, since Shatner also played the leader in
true.
Mork and Mindy.
He played Orson?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No.
I don't remember that. No, I knew
William
it at some point, but I've forgotten it.
Yeah, Shatner.
I never missed an episode of that show.
He was yeah. That was Bill Shatner.
So because the guy that voiced Orson was an announcer actor. He's one of his voices.
Yes.
So how did they explain? I don't remember how they explain.
Oh gosh, it's been a long time. But I remember because they advertised the heck out of that episode because it's William Shatner on Mork and Mindy. So it's William Shatner and Robin Williams. And it was just
because Ralph James, that's who it is. Ralph James was the voice of Orson for 4 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Conrad Janis that played the dad. He was hilarious. What a good actor. Pam Dauber was fun. My favorite actor in that was Robert Donner as Exeter. And Robert Donner is a dramatic actor.
Yep.
Famous for playing westerns and villains a lot of the time. Goes onto the show and plays one of the best lunatics on television I've ever seen. He's like a cult leader. He's got nobody following him. Exeter. Jonathan Williams, Jonathan Winters was great on there, but it always bothered me because they started relying too much on improv, and you kind of lose a story when you do that. Yeah, shit's funny, but the stories got thinner and thinner while he was on the show as their son. What was his name? Mirth.
Yeah.
Mirth. He played Mirth, and I don't know. I really did like that show, and it went 4 seasons before it got canceled. And I think Robin was ready to move on. He did his stand-up, and I bought the album Reality What a Concept, and he says it during the show. People are like going, no. He goes, no, nanu. I've had enough of that right now. This is me just doing something else, and you could tell with this tone when he said that he's being funny about it, but there's a lot of honesty in comedy, and you could tell he was like needed to get the fuck away from Mork for Mork, and there's a video on YouTube. Who really created Mork for Mork? And it's a good video because it delves into who came up with the original idea, but who really created the character. And it finally comes down to Robin Williams created that character. Yes, it was written by somebody else initially, but he took that bull by the horns, and ran with it in a way that nobody expected. And even because he made his first appearance on Happy Days as Mork before the show took off.
Yeah.
And I remember what's his name played Fonzie.
Henry Winkler.
Gosh, Henry Winkler talking about it. He says, "I've never seen anything like that guy." He says he would each take would be different.
Mm-hmm.
Our lines would be the same, but what he was doing was different. And I've never seen anybody at that level. But all I got to say to that is cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite Robin Williams stories, and I think this was Billy Crystal telling it shortly after Robin died, was this skit they were both in, I think Laugh-In. And they were just supposed to be announcing a baseball game and just kind of doing it in a vaguely comedic
people
manner.
don't realize Laugh-In lasted into the deep 70s.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks it's a 60s show. I'm like, no, it went into the 70s. And continue. I'm sorry. I just wanted to point that out.
They're just going announcing this baseball game, and all of a sudden Robin just switches to Yiddish out of nowhere. And just starts announcing the baseball game in Yiddish. And Billy just goes with it. And then after the sketch, he's just like, "Oh, he's like, I didn't realize you were Jewish. What temple you go to?" "Oh, I'm not." And then he just walks off. Only Robin Williams could have the kind of creative ability to just go into a language he's only heard. People
made the mistake of thinking he was Jewish. I'm like, no,
because he used to do that voice all the time.
Yeah, my favorite was when he's doing the joke on Reality What a Concept, and he's an old Jewish guy that owns a newspaper stand. He tells the kids, get away, you kids aren't going to pull yourself through puberty, plus you make the pages stick together."
Bye, DJ.
Bye, DJ. Thanks for dropping in.
And by the way, boss, we have this one. Sax has been a member for 31 months.
Holy crap.
Holy shit, Sax. Don't you have anything else to do?
Don't say things like that.
Don't give him ideas, please.
I thought.
Okay, I know it's not exactly a birthday because it's not 36, but I still think that this video would survive.
Happy fucking birthday!
31 months. What is that baby year?
Hey,
War Monkey is here. Wolverine 626 is here. Our good friend Shinaski, my buddy. Of course, Awesome One. And Parrot Head is here too. So, welcome to the second hour of the show, where we are now just going to kind of free rein it. No, keep giving us money. God damn it, Canva, shut the fuck up.
Yes, throw him some super money, guys, so he keeps his clothes on. Please.
One last thing. Laugh-In actually returned to air a few years after it went off the air. So from 1968 to 1973.
It 68 to 72. Oh, 73. And
okay.
then it came back
and then it came
2 years
in
later.
77. Yeah. And Robin Williams was part of the cast when they tried to revive it.
2 seasons, as I recall.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 seasons, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he did his birdie poem. Little birdie on the windowsill, brightly dressed in red. I brought the windowsill down and I crushed the sucker's head. That's Robin Williams.
I like that one.
No, and then we brought it up a little bit earlier. One of the best comedy duos I've ever seen was Spader and Shatner on Boston Legal. Holy crap!
Oh, jeez.
The scenes with them on the balcony smoking are some of the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, that show.
I've never seen him.
Wow. Boston Legal. You can understand why Shatner got his Emmy.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And
the two of them had such great chemistry.
And it helps when you're working along actors.
Sorry.
It helps when you're working alongside actors like Candice Bergen and James Spader, who are just ultimate professionals and just some of the best actors you'll ever see.
Mm-hmm.
Like Spader on Blacklist was one of my favorite characters he's ever played.
Also, Renee Auberjonois.
Yep.
I was good until the daughter died. And then I just stopped watching the show. I'm like, that's the drive of the show, is his love for her. Like, well, what are they going to do now? So I stopped watching the show. And I had some logic issues with the show too, because there were things in there, it's like, that's bullshit. As a writer, you should really, because Keith will tell you, Anima knows this too. I sit and logic test everything I write.
Yep.
I sit there and I pretend to be that guy. Why is he doing it that way? That doesn't make any sense. Why not just, and I do that to my stories. And that way, there's no real way to go at my story and go, oh, well, yeah, I guess, yeah, that's pretty much the most logical way that this would take place. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a good approach.
That bugs me that they don't have somebody like that for that show. I thought Shatner got Emmy for his stint on The Practice. I don't remember.
Yes, because in the
I know that
one episode,
he's the same character.
Yes, one
Okay,
episode
so
of The
it's the same
Practice
character.
is the pilot for Boston Legal. We get introduced to both of them, to James Spader and Shatner's characters.
Put some respect on his name, Denny Crane.
Yes. Yeah, but I can't remember Spade's character, so
fuck, what is his name? Alan something.
Let me. Oh my
But Spader's been brilliant in everything I've ever seen him in.
Oh yes.
He even managed to almost save that Ultron movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's the best part.
Yeah, he is.
He is the best part of that film.
Yeah.
By the way,
Alan Shore.
I saw
is in
Alan Shore, that's it.
Parrot Head wanted me to check my Twitter. I need to check my Twitter. Because that.
Now,
wasn't my first choice.
Andy Morrow sent me a clip of Shatner on Police Squad. Do you want me to play that?
Yes. How long is it?
15 seconds.
Yes.
Okay.
But I want you to play it at 1.2 times
Okay,
speed.
1 point. Okay. 1.5.
No, not that fast.
One. Okay.
Don't go any
1
faster than
point.
1.3.
Okay. 1.25. Share screen. Oh my goodness. Here's. Here we go.
Tonight's special guest star, William Shatner.
Hey, you.
Yeah, they're going to claim us on the soundtrack. That's what they claim for. Sometimes, even if you play only a couple seconds, they'll fucking hit you with the copyright claim for the music. Fucking assholes. By the way, this is Shatner. Thank you, Parad. This is Shatner from Mork and Mindy here.
With the Kirk
That's kind of
sideburns.
cool. He's like, fuck. No, mirth. Now, a lot of people don't know that Jonathan Winters, like so many great comedians, suffered from mental illness, and he was in and out of mental hospitals for decades. He'd go check himself in, or his wife would take him so he could check himself in, and just powerful bouts of depression, what they referred to back then as manic depression, but basically is bipolar.
Yeah.
And he also had PTSD from combat. So Jonathan Winters, hilarious dude, man. You've ever seen him on Johnny Carson? You've been shown some of the best stuff you'll ever see. Jonathan Winters on Johnny Carson's show, The Tonight Show, was so fucking funny. And he would just start riffing. Just spontaneous stuff. And doing voices, he would go into characters. And he apparently did that while he was in the military. He would do characters and it pissed one of his exos off.
Well, I think every platoon had that guy that could just do voices and would just do skits for it. Like, what's his face in Black Hawk Down, where he's doing the imitation of Captain Steele.
Yeah, we always did that. And I was really good at impersonating our senior NCOs. And in fact, when I was with the 308th Med Ambulance, I used to make fun of our first sergeant. He was just a fucking idiot. He really was. And he's the one who got so, I told this where he got so angry at me because he's like, he looks at me and he says, I just got licensed on the Humvee that day. And we're going out on field training exercise. And he says, the Humvee is unstickable. You cannot stick it. You cannot get it stuck anywhere. I said, oh, I could get it stuck. And he goes, you cannot. And he's got the paperwork in front of me. You cannot. And he showed it to me. You cannot stick it. So I immediately turned left and went into a ravine and turned the vehicle as I went down into it. And it got stuck corner to corner.
Yep.
In this ravine. And he got so fucking angry at me. We had to call in for a deuce and a half with a winch to throw the bullets out from another unit. It was fucking funny.
That's always the most shameful moment too, when you get the vehicle that's that good off road actually stuck to the point where you need to call a wrecker.
Wasn't it in Excalibur? There's a moment in which Merlin says to Arthur, "You broke the indestructible."
Well, I mean, we have a saying in the U.S. Marines especially, but Army infantry as well. You find me something that's idiot-proof, and I will find you a better idiot.
Yep, I'll find you a better idiot. There you go.
You know,
because nothing is idiot-proof except the baseball.
Speaking of being on the Tonight Show, I think, Jonathan Winters was always great. But Buddy Hackett was probably the bluest comedian that they ever had on the Tonight Show. And when he was let loose, I'm sure the censors had a field day, but if you ever got a chance to see Buddy Hackett unleashed, wow. Funny stuff.
Well, I mean, I've seen a couple of those sketches, and even the look on Johnny's face sometimes is like you can tell he's trying to keep like a a good-natured face on, but like behind the eyes is like, well, this gig was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, another one that would break Johnny up is Rodney Dangerfield.
Ooh, yeah.
Rodney would just crack him up. Because he'd sit there. He would go do his tight 5 or tight 10 stand-up, and then he'd get invited over to sit down, and he'd be running jokes on Johnny the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to go see the doctor the other day. Really? Is everything okay? It was Dr. Bombay, whatever you... It's like Dr. Bombay. I forget the doctor's name. And the jokes about his wife, which, because if you know the tragedy of his marriage and stuff with his wife, he actually really loved her. But his jokes, man, just ripped into marriage. And was so... Yeah, that's it. Vinny Boombats, yes. I mean, one of my favorite jokes as a kid was, he says, I was so ugly. They had to put a pork chop around my neck for the dog to play with me.
He was another just brilliant talent. Playing the same guy in every single thing he did, but just doing it so well.
My wife is such a narcissist. When we have sex, she yells out her own name. Because when you look at his humor, you realize when you listen to what's his name, Andrew Dice Clay, that he's imitating Rodney.
Yeah.
He's doing Rodney jokes. He's dirtier, he's bluer, but that's what he's doing. I was about to Google if the Tonight Show still has stand-up comedians on, and then I remembered. Oh, that's right. I don't care. That's right. And I remembered, no, I don't care. When I was born, the doctor slapped my mother. That's right. That was one of my favorites. I love that joke. And then, it's like, I don't know if you guys ever watch SNL back in the day, the old cast and crew. And right after 3 Mile Island, they did a gag on Jimmy Carter visiting the place with Dan Aykroyd doing Jimmy Carter. And then in the middle of it, they go, and now Henny Youngman in the middle of this skit, whether at 3 Mile Island, shit's going down, it's not good. And he goes, and now Henny Youngman, and it cuts away and he starts telling jokes. And one of the funniest jokes I ever heard was Rodney Dangerfield on SNL when he said, I can make love to two. I don't want to say she's big, but she can make love to 2 men at once and they'd never meet.
Oh.
I don't want to say she was large, but her nickname in high school was the Lincoln Tunnel. Rodney, man. Rodney,
some of the old SNL sketches were just pure gold. Like Eddie Murphy with Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood.
Well, yeah, go back into your mama's room and say, "Bitch, I'll wait here." Then he just slapped you in the face, and you said it right, bitch.
That's gonna get more popular after the movie comes out. SNL 75.
Yeah,
I think a lot of the early.
Here's the problem that I have with so many of these films, like when Dustin Hoffman played Lenny Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what the problem with that film was? All of his jokes weren't funny. Dustin Hoffman couldn't figure out the timing, and so his jokes weren't funny. They fell flat. So he plays the emotional aspect of Lenny Bruce really well. But when he's trying to emulate the comedy, not doing it. He didn't do it. And so often this is true. Whereas movies like that one with Sally Field and Tom Hanks, where they're stand-up comedians, the comedy was funny, and the drama was good. But Rodney was something else. But Don Rickles is another one because he was a huge inspiration for me. A lot of the way I do my comedy and the way I'm funny is based off of growing up on that guy,
Mr. Warmth.
I mean, I didn't just have milk and cookies as a kid. That's right. I had Mr. Warmth to watch, and my dad would be sound asleep because we had one of those Murphy beds when he kidnapped me and took me to Virginia. We lived in this small 2-room apartment, and it had a fold-out bed that came out of the wall. And he'd sleep on one side and I'd sleep on the other. And he'd be asleep and I'd still be awake, and I'd have the TV on watching Tonight Show and any horror movies that might come on Channel 20. And man, so much comedy with Don Rickles. And he would get going with him, and even sat in one time as guest host, as I recall. And he was handling his cigarette box, which was an important gift from his past, and he broke it. And he faked putting it back together and left it there. And weeks went by, and Carson finally went to touch it on the show, and it fell apart. And he goes, "What happened here?" And he turns to Freddie DeCordova, the director, and as well as Ed McMahon and any other crew member. He's like, "What? Don did this." Don. And he sits up, and you can tell he's actually a little pissed. He sits up and he goes, "Follow me, get a cab, follow me." And he goes walking through the network studios, the hallways, into Don Rickles' studio for his show, the set for CPO Sharkey, and interrupts shooting over there to confront him about the cigarette box. And Don Rickles is a mixture of shame and so tickled that Carson has done this, he's losing his fucking mind laughing because he can't believe he's done this. And it's funny as hell. Those two had I love those. And to find out that Don Rickles was best friends with like Bob Newhart, and the way that he would shit on him all the time.
Oh, Frank Sinatra too.
know?
Frank loved it when Don would just shit on him. He's one of the few people that could probably get away with
joke. I'll tell that joke that he pulled on him. But one of my favorites he did was when he was telling this story on the Tonight Show about going to Germany with the Newharts. And he says, and when you see Bob sitting there, he already looks like he looks like a German fighter pilot from World War II. It's fucking hits on him. It's so fucking funny. He looks like a German. He didn't say German fighter, but a German Luftwaffe pilot from World War II. And it's like, oh my God. What did you send me? Because I don't know if we can play the clips if they're too long. Because YouTube is such a jerk. That's why I want all of us to go over to Rumble so we can start really showing clips and stuff on this show. Because I just want to admit, oh my God, yes, that's it. And oh my God, thank you, Parrot. Thank you. He sent me the video of Johnny Carson tracking down Don Rickles on set, and he was mad. He, as funny as it was, and as much as he still loved Don Rickles, he was mad. And Don Rickles showed up one time on set, and he was doing one of those fake commercials that he would do, the little skits with the Carson players, and he's selling this hot tub thing. And Don Rickles comes out there and starts like manhandling him. And that shit's funny as hell, man. Throwing him into the water, oh my, and it's up. Don Rickles ends up in the water. That's fucking funny. Carson was a thin guy, but he was wiry and strong, and he beat Don Rickles there on that one. And if you guys have never seen CPO Sharkey, it's available on Freevee. At least 2 seasons are. I think it got 3 or 4 seasons, and I love that show. I don't think it understood, because they're recruits, but then they graduate, then they're still there. And I'm like, why are they still there? It's sort of like Army boot camp. We graduate, and then all of a sudden that's permanent party or in basic. What? what the fuck is going on?
Although nowadays it's actually fairly accurate because apparently you do EIT usually the same place you did basic, so it's literally just you change over programs one day.
Oh,
what in the Marine Corps?
No, in the Army, Marines aren't like that. But when my buddy was in Cav, basically their graduation.
No, they still have specialized schools. Like Missouri is big for 88 mics, which are truck engineers, and MP school is down at well, one of them is down at where's the money Gold Cap in Fort Knox.
Fort Knox.
There's MP training there, but there's another place and I forget where it is. If Joe were here, he would tell me because he went to the other place, as I recall.
Yeah. But apparently, well, this is at least when my buddy went through, they were doing it at the same, in the same training facility that, they'd gone through.
Well, if they're basic infantry, you could probably get away with that. But if you've got a specialized MOS,
I think they go through infantry school and then they go through. He was a Cav Scout, so I think they go through basic infantry and then they go through reconnaissance training. But their initial infantry training was basically like, "Congratulations, you're soldiers now. Now shut the fuck up and fall in."
You're actual soldiers now. Fuck off and go kill somebody. But like, if you're basic Army, if you train at the same place where you're going to be trained to be a soldier, with the further advancement in infantry and all that shit, you'll probably go to the same base. But if you got a specialized MOS, like I had one as a combat medic, the only medic training is at Fort Sam Houston. So any medical MOS is going to Fort Sam Houston. And as of now, Navy sends all their medical training there. They have their own building up on top of the hill, and Air Force too. If you actually have anything medical in the Marine Corps, they'd be sending you to
I mean, instead we just borrow from
Fort
the
Sam
Navy.
Houston. But I don't think you have anything medical.
No,
because that's why I didn't go in the Marine Corps, because I went to the Marine Corps first because I wanted to be. I'd seen or listened to the Mike Warnke record, "Hey Doc," which just cracked me up, and I'm like, I want to do that. I want to be a medic in the Marine Corps. But then he had said something about it too, that he had to go through the Navy. So when I went there, I was hoping that wasn't true, because this is like 27 years later, and I'm like, hey, please tell me it's not saying, no, you still got to go in the Navy. So I go to the Navy recruiter, and they gave me that bad news that, oh, you've only got about a 20% chance of being associated with the Marine unit. 80. So I said, so I've got an 80% chance of being stuck doing Navy crap. And he goes, whoa, because he didn't like my phrasing. Whoa. and I went, yeah, I'm going to go in the Army where I know I'm in an infantry unit. I'm good.
One of my favorite things is they used to move corpsmen around between the green and blue sides, as we call the Marine Corps and the Navy.
Right.
And one thing that apparently showed up, and right when I was in, was almost all of the green side corpsmen that had worked with the Marines had horrible discipline problems working with the Navy again.
Imagine that.
Yeah, because they were used to dealing with us, and then they're dealing with blue side corpsmen that just deal with regular sailors every day, and they're like, holy shit, why is this guy drunk and smoking all the time?
Wow.
What is his weird disposition, and why is he eating crayons?
Yeah, right. I could just picture the Navy looking at us like, what happened? He was all clean and nice when we gave him to. He's just drunk and swears a lot.
You broke our medic.
No, we fixed him.
Yeah, we gave him a proper adjustment.
Yeah.
I like being around infantry guys all the time. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was around medical people a lot once I went to 308th Med Ambulance, but I felt so at home in the infantry, and it's what I wanted to do. But let's see, we got some comments here. Me too, Gary. I love watching records back in the 60s and 70s. I was going to do the story that you brought up, Keith, when Don was on a date. So he walks over, he sees Sinatra at the restaurant. He goes, "Hey, Frank, I hate to do this, but I'm on this date. And I told her that I knew you. And if you'd be so nice to come over and say hello to my date with me, I would, it would really make the chances of us working out even better. I'd appreciate it." He goes, "Sure, sure." So he finishes eating, pays his tab, gets up, walks over to Don with this woman, and he goes, "Hey, Don, how you doing?" He goes, "Can't you see we're eating here, Frank?"
Son of a bitch.
Get out of here. Fucking Frank. And when he told the story in front of Frank, Frank started laughing again because that was such a fucking thing. He was like, he would shit on people.
Yeah.
And he shat on a major fucking mobster one time, while the mobster was in there just joking with him. And he thought it was hilarious, the whole mobster talk thing, that fake mobster talk that he came up with, Rickles. That shit was funny. Bada bing, bada boom. All CPO Sharkies episodes are indeed on Tubi, and 2 seasons are on Freevee. I do love that show.
Especially when you're making fun of a guy who's like a major mobster. That's just like one of those, he better find this funny.
Yeah, I had a friend that he was from New York, and you could hear it in the way he talked. "Hey, Gary," calling Gary. And his name was Jim Hilsapi, and just a stocky, muscular. This guy was working at power lifter, big, muscular guy, but he's short and stocky. And the first time I went over to his house to hang out and have some beers, and his wife was just this lovely Christian woman, and he was so opposite of that. And you meet him, and the first thing I said to him, I said, "When I met you, I thought you were a Goomba." And he just started laughing. He goes, "Nah, I'd never work for those guys, those wise guys. Nah." And just the sweetest guy. But when I went to his house, he had a pet Rottweiler. And basically this dog was him in dog form. And that thing terrified me. It was a very sweet dog, but this is where I came up with my rule that I live by to this day. But Jim's sitting there and he's like, puts on some gloves and just starts fucking hitting this dog. And this dog is just like, this is playtime. He's tagging this dog. Tagging it. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. These aren't like play. He's fucking nailing this dog with these gloved hands. And I'm like, I can hear it. And I'm a fighter and I know what those sounds are. And I'm like, and that dog's just like reacting like, "Woo, boy." And he nailed him a couple of times in the head. 2 quick rights. He went bop, bop. They weren't straight rights, they were hooks. Right. And the dog went, "Oh," and just came at him. And I was terrified by that. I was mortified. Not what he was doing, but the fact that, oh my God, and this is where my rule came from, I don't think you could stop that dog if it lost its mind.
Nope.
And that is my rule to this day. I will never own a dog that I can't knock out with one punch.
Fair enough.
If it loses its fucking mind. And God, that scared the shit out of me. And I told him, I said, that dog is you. That's why you're best friends. You're best friends with yourself. And he ended up going to a Halloween party and coming as Rambo. And he got hammered at this party. So hammered, his wife asked for someone to take her home because he just was acting like a complete jackass. And at one point, he pulls out, he had brought a real combat knife in his web gear and pulled it out and sliced his hand up and bled all over my friend's carpet, brand new carpet. And that led to the talk where I said, "Dude, I love you, man, but you drink way too fucking much. You're fun, but you're insane." And I said, "You come back to me. If you're ready to quit, I'm there with you. I'll be right there in your corner. But other than that, man, if you got to keep drinking, I don't want that in my life, man. I grew up with that shit. I've had some bigger dogs. I've had, I would never have a Rottie, even though I think they're great dogs. I've had boxers. I owned a boxer once, but I discovered that I'm very allergic to dog dander and the oil in their skin.
Oh, yeah.
And if I play with a bristly haired dog, I get horrible welts all over my arms. And then I have trouble breathing and I'm having an anaphylactic reaction. And so I'm like, I can't have short-haired dogs. I have to have all long-haired dogs. So mostly all I've owned in my adult life were either a Husky, Malamute, or a Golden Retriever. And they're fun. Huskies, not Huskies, Malamutes in particular, are a lot of fun. And they've got so much personality, man. A little bit wackadoodle in their personalities. My only problem with Malamutes are they're street stupid. You can train them as well as you do them, but they'll walk right out in front of a fucking car if you're not paying attention. They're just fucking dumb when it comes to that. So let me see. We got some great comments here. All CPO Sharky episodes again are indeed on Tubi, so that's great news. I have Tubi, so I'm gonna go. I can watch. Is it 3 seasons or 4 seasons, Martin?
2 seasons.
That's all there is? I thought there were 3 or 4.
No, there are 37 episodes according to IMDb. One season.
So all those episodes are also available over on Freevee, which is free, and it's in its name through Amazon. Wolverine says, I really wish when entertainment news sites like Deadline or Hollywood Reporter would show photos of cast editions. Yeah. Look, man, those are terrible rags now. They've got terrible staff, terrible writers. They're all politically driven, and they are not real reporters anymore. They're not real journalists anymore. They're activists. So I gave up reading those.
Switch over to the
occasionally
media to kill them all, I think.
Yeah.
Because gaming went the same way.
I'm hoping that we'll eventually get back to normal, but right now it's just a fucking mess. Entertainment news, the only place to go is Film Threat Magazine is the best place to get your entertainment news. Sure, I don't mind liberal mindset. I just hate lefties. And I hate the leftist woke attitude.
And it also really
woke,
starts...
not all woke, because I'm very woke. If you read some of my old stuff, I'm woke, but woke in the right way, not this crazy fucking way. Because guys like Keith and I, we grew up in that area where we were slightly progressive in the way we think, not progressive like they are today, where it's just fucking insane. Where women go, we deserve the exact same pay in film as Keanu Reeves. It's like, you bring in the fucking asses into the seats like him, then no, you're not going to get the fucking pay. Stop talking crazy.
Right.
Pat Grant and Ron Troop have been cast as for James Gunn's Superman. The casting for Troop may be troubling. I don't know. Don't know who that is. Who is that?
Ron Troop. Ron Troop is actually the one character that has never really been seen a lot, even though he is a Superman character. He is the second best reporter.
Oh, yes.
Lane.
Yeah,
and he marries Lois Lane's sister. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Ron Troop. I remember now. Okay.
Thanks,
Wolverine.
Wolverine.
As long as they do them correct. Thanks, man. Yeah, Chihuahuas. I got to be honest. I had one. I never thought I would ever own one. My grandmother had 2. Chiquita, and I can't remember the other. Chiquita and I got along. The other one always tried to bite me as a kid. And Chiquita was, they just shook all the time. They're always shaking. And finally, yes. I was at one of the shelters, and they had this Chihuahua there, and its mother had died, the lady that owned it. And the dog was already 11 years old. So they were considering just putting it down, euthanasia. And I said, no, that dog's got more time left. Give it to me. I took that dog, and it lived with me. my fucking idiot roommates and my daughter. My daughter was good to that dog. And Princess Topo, but we just called her Topo. And if you remember from Ed Sullivan show, Topo Gijo, remember that?
Oh yes.
Hello.
We saw Topollillo down in Venezuela.
So, but I got to tell you, that dog was so fucking weird, man. It was so small. When I took it out to show it where to go to the bathroom, it was terrified of grass. It wouldn't go into the grass. So I had to go get potty pads for puppies and set up in the laundry room, change them every day. Because that dog was not going to go pee and poop in the back. And so we're like, all right, that's fine. This is probably more healthier to do it that way. And ended up, that dog lived to 14. Christopher McDonald, according to THR, the actor is new to the screen. But THR also spelled the name McDonald. Yeah, because Christopher McDonald is another actor. He's been around since the late 80s. Started out as like he was in an ambulance comedy. What was the name of that movie? He's in what's Adam Sandler's golf movie?
Happy Gilmore.
He's in Happy Gilmore as the villain.
Oh, yeah. No, I know who you're talking about.
Christopher McDonald. Yeah, Christopher McDonald. This guy, I'll share.
I always think of Requiem for a Dream with him.
This guy. He's been around for a long time. Good actor. Funny. He was also the villain in Norm Macdonald's movie Dirty Deeds.
Dirty Work.
Was that Dirty Work?
He played a lot of villains in the 80s, man.
Well, he was always good because he knows how to play an asshole. But I'm trying to find that movie he did where he's a good guy in it. Oh my God. In Dutch, he's such a perfect asshole. Remember that movie with Al Bundy?
No.
It's weird. A lot of the biggest assholes in movies generally tend to be like the nicest people. It's kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, one of the guys that made a career of being villains. He was on a talk show, and he says it's so funny. He says, in real life, I'm just the nicest guy. I just want to help people. And I pulled over to help this lady who had a flat tire, but because I have this face and it's all scarred up, she was freaked out and scared of me. And I said, while some guy that was really good looking, and he's referencing Ted Bundy, might pull up and offer to help her and end up kidnapping her and doing something horrible. People base their fucking reaction to people off of their looks. But I'm going to find this movie because it's going to drive me crazy.
You know what? I could believe it if this is
did.
a bait and switch. I'm sorry.
What do you mean?
I wouldn't be surprised if Christopher McDonald is actually playing Perry White, and that they switch the actor who they announced playing Perry is playing Ron Troop, just to mess with people.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, he'd actually be a decent Perry.
I agree. Absolutely. Because he knows how to yell at people. He's really good when he loses it.
I mean, that would be the only explanation why you would cast Christopher McDonald as Ron Troop.
That would probably be the best asshole boss casting since J.K. Simmons as Jameson.
Yeah, but the thing is, he wouldn't be playing an asshole. That would be the big risk with that is that he's known for playing assholes, but having him play one of the best boss out there.
True.
So Ron Troop is a really nice guy. He is a young man who marries Lois Lane's sister, Lucy. And one of the few a-hole things about their dad, Sam, is that he doesn't like Ron Troop. It's hinted at because of his race, even though one would think that their dad is a little more progressive in certain respects. But that turns out to be a bit of a problem for Sam Lane. Even more so than having that wimp Kent married to his eldest daughter. But again, look, I'm gonna wait until I see the film. But if he sticks with this, I'm telling you right now, that's an unusual way to go in casting a very much older white man to play the part that was normally of a younger black man in comics. A youthful black man.
I still think one of the best Superman storylines I've heard recently was a joke. Well, it was basically a meme saying that, like, DC should just come up with an entire comic book of basically Clark reporting on something the CIA didn't want him to talk about, and they keep trying to kill him.
Yeah, and they try to assassinate him.
Something like that actually happened in the animated series, where
they can't figure out why they keep failing.
Yeah, though the episode was more so a dirty cop had framed a guy for a murder, puts a bomb in Clark Kent's car, and then Clark Kent sees that there's a fisherman who saw his car go in. So he's like, shit, I have to be dead now.
Oh, yeah. I remember that from the
and he's able to figure out a way out of it. And it turns out it was a dirty cop who was behind all the shenanigans. And he gets sentenced to the death penalty. And so they put him in, and just before they activate it to turn on the gas, and the dude's still thinking about it. It's like, how did Kent survive? And then he looks up and he goes, Clark Kent is Superman, and they throw the switch.
It's great. It's a great episode.
But the thing about that episode is that it's voiced by the man who was the original voice for Superman on radio. That was his cameo appearance. He also was the announcer of the 60s Superman cartoon. Same guy. They brought him back, years later.
I remember that.
Yeah, it's the same guy. And so,
by the way, I need to get in here, man.
I'm sorry.
You said the magic word. You said shenanigans.
But our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic.
Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really.
Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Hey, Farva, what's the name of that restaurant you like with all the goofy shit on the walls and the mozzarella sticks? You mean shenanigans? Oh. You're talking about shenanigans, right?
Put those away!
Brian Cox.
Brian's Cox.
Jeez.
Shenanigans. Shanatsky. We're going to change your name to Shenaniganotsky. Because you're always up to shit. Sneaking in. How you doing, buddy?
I'm here. I didn't want to interrupt your diatribe, so I'll hang back. Let Gary go.
Nobody's got any diatribes. The only diatribes here are Keith. Hollywood folk need to go back to not having their people have the similar name.
At least put a
video game should follow the advice too.
Yeah.
I think Hollywood should just keep their lives private, along with their politics and everything else, and just entertain us, so they don't piss anyone off. Everyone makes more money. Everyone's happy.
Legacy
And the
percentile
message
shows are.
And the message they're trying to push might actually get paid attention to rather than oh, good, this one's being preachy on Twitter again. Cool.
Yeah, nobody wants to approach anybody swinging a baseball bat. That's what they're like. So they get ignored, avoided. So we're reaching the end here.
Yep.
Yeah. Reaching the end of this. I think one of the shows I would like to eventually do on here too, the show that's all but forgotten. I'll say it, and you guys probably never saw it. It was called Harry O.
Loved it.
It was David Jansen TV show. Yeah.
Yep.
And it is a really good series. They only got, I think, 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And very good, very good. He's a former cop, Private Dick, and he's got physical problems because he was injured as a cop, which is why he's no longer a cop. He got injured. And but he's still trying to do the work, and he ends up working closely with a cop that he served with that has problems with him. And it's just a very good show. And the actor that plays the cop, a Hispanic actor, let's see if I can get him, because he was in a lot of good stuff back then. Harry O. Let me go see if I can find it. Oh, Anthony Zerbe's in it too. My God. There it is. Henry Darrow. He's a Hispanic actor, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yep.
You know, Keith.
Well, I remember the show.
That dude. Let me see if I can get a save image here. This guy was in so much. Oh, web. I fucking hate Google. Convert everything to a web P when they get a chance. The Hollywood Reporter. He was in Star Trek too, by the way. He played a vulgar.
Henry Darrow was from. I remember him from High Chaparral.
High Chaparral, that's right.
Yeah. And he did an episode of Voyager. He played Chakotay's father.
So he's been on Next Generation and that. Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find a picture to show people. Finally, a JPEG. Jesus Christ, Google. God, they're such jerks about it. And
73 to 76, Harry O.
Here he is. And he is somebody that was perfect. And he did play Zorro. Here he is.
Great actor. One of my all-time favorite character actors growing up.
But he ended up playing Zorro, and I can't remember.
Yep.
Was it for the TV show or was it in film? I can't remember.
TV show.
It was a TV show.
Yeah.
And it was the first version since Disney had produced one. It was done in like 70, 71, something like that. And it was good, but it didn't last.
He's the Latin Ilya Kuriaki.
Oh, jeez.
Look at the picture again. See, if Ilya Kuriaki were a Latin guy.
Yeah.
Well,
he ended up returning to play Zorro again, by the way, in the animated series. He voiced Zorro.
Yes,
so he's played
I remember that
twice.
animated series.
And he's perfect. I loved one of the best things about him wasn't just his expressions, because he had great expressions, but the way he worked his voice, man. He had so much character in the way he said things. He was a great actor, dude. God, he was on Vegas. Oh my God, one episode.
God, I
what
love
a great
Vegas.
actor.
God, that show was fun. Oh
yeah.
Dan Tanner.
Oh, another show he was on that you and I love, $6 Million Man.
Of course. A lot of you
And
out
by
there.
the way, go
ahead. Go ahead. I
No,
was just
you
going
go
to say
ahead.
a lot. I'm just going to say a lot of you people out there just don't know what you were missing. Gary and I had the benefit of a lot of really cool shows that we grew up with. A lot of really cool shows.
Yes, sirree. So I was going to point out that Lee Majors does make an appearance in the final episode of The Shit My Dad Says.
Oh,
really?
He's in episode, I think it's episode 18. And it's, I don't think it's one of the better episodes, but it's a fun episode.
Well, second time
So-
they've met playing characters in a show.
So once again, if you've never watched the show and you can find a way to find it, it's on F Movies. Go watch Shit My Dad Says. And that's it for today, guys. We're going to get the hell out of here. I want to thank everybody for being here. We got a good list of watchers today. We got 22 watching us right now. Of course, we got Tim. Sentai Ranger Donnie was here. Penny, Andy Morrow. Let's see, D-Bud Martin. DJ Play Nice. Gap After Dark. Vinkman's Girl was here. Let's see, Awesome One. Wolverine 626, War Monkey, and of course, Parrot Head. Parrot Head is one of those essential people. If you need someone to cheer you up, Parrot Head will do it. He will throw some memes at you that'll just, it will take your shitty day and fuck it up and make it awesome. Sounds kind of weird when you say it that way, but that's how I talk. I say things that just don't make sense at first. And then you go, oh, that's what you say. Take your shitty day and fuck it up. Meaning making it better. So let's see. Any last comments to read? 90 Zorro series taking over from Efren Zimbalist Jr. By the way, I've been watching. It's available now on what's the app I use right now? Hold on. I think it might be Tubi. I'm watching The FBI. Remember that show with Efren?
Ooh, Efren Zimbalist Jr.
Yeah. And it is Tubi. I've been watching it on. And I love the FBI, man. And they have a live channel that just airs it. So I'll crash, go to sleep, and sleep all night with my headset on, listening to the FBI. Quinn
Martin.
Quinn Martin, that's it. A Quinn Martin production. Because early on, it was a QM production. And then eventually, by the time they started doing the FBI, they started using his full name. And I loved it, man. A Quinn Martin in production. He was sort of like the other, the guy who wrote Dragnet and Adam 12, Jack Webb. He was like Jack Webb. He put out The Invaders, man.
Oh yeah.
Fucking one of the most realistic, believable UFO abduction invasion shows ever. That guy, Quinn Martin, is behind that. Oh man,
Barnaby Jones.
What makes it so good is CIA. I do believe the FBI and CIA had a part in ending that show. Hey man, you're getting too close to the mark or something. You stop that show. And what does he do next? The FBI. Coincidence? No such fucking thing. I've learned that the brutal way. Coincidences are just simply not something that happens that often. You got these things that you go, oh, that was kind of random. Yeah, that was kind of random. But when you start looking and going, well, that's a coincidence, it's time to start going, or was it? It's like, I don't know. I've been followed, and I've also been followed by somebody that wasn't following me. And they teach you in defensive driving, take a left, take a right, and then take another left. If that person's still following you, or behind you, they are following you.
Mm-hmm.
Did that one day because I had my kid and I was worried about them because there was a big threat against my life when I was in my custody battle. And so I didn't want them to see where I took her to daycare. I was keeping it, private because I didn't want them going there and trying to create a scene or try to take her. So, but it was just some person going home, just happened to go exactly the left, right, and then left turn that I did. And I'm like, I guess I was being paranoid. So I guess there is coincidence, but it's just so fucking rare when it happens. But anyway, end of the show, guys. Thanks a lot for being here. War Monkey, Parrot Head. Shit, our Gary says. Thanks, Keith. Keith said
Shit,
that.
Gary.
People. Shit, Gary says. Yeah, that's every show. So, Keith, thanks for being here, buddy. I hope you had a good day. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Thank you. It's always a great time when I'm here with you guys. Seriously, I needed this.
Well, I got to tell you.
I'd buy that for $1.
By the way, that song, my new song, I actually said this, when I was talking to Mac last night.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
So the only thing missing in that song is more cowbell. It's a straight up rock song. What did you think of it, Keith? The music? Did you get to listen to it last night?
Oh, I didn't get a chance because I was work, and it's always special because it's summertime, and some people think, I'll complain about it later. But hey,
what?
I'm happy to have a job. Happy to have a job.
I like turtles.
Are you pissed at somebody at work? I like turtles.
I'm happy to have the job.
By the way, I was on a show. Hosted by E = MC Hammer. And this weird dude suddenly shows up on the show, man. And he starts talking about this war hero who cut off hands, was cutting off ears, and doing all this violent stuff. And I'm just sitting there quietly listening. It was a podcast, audio. No. And I'm sitting there very quietly listening to this guy talk. And Bush McFadden was there, and E = MC Hammer goes, well, what do you think? What is your opinion on all of this, Gary? And I leaned in and I said, I like turtles. I didn't know what to say after that guy's rant. I said, am I not turtley enough for you? And then I started making fun of the guy. I said, who the fuck talks about cutting off people's hands and ears and wearing them as jewelry in common parlance and any casual conversation? Who brings that up?
Wasn't that a story in Buddhism?
What?
Yeah, there's a story where there's a guy who's basically a serial killer, and he takes a bunch of fingers and he has like a necklace full of them, and the Buddha goes to visit him, and basically
So it's a tome? Is this like a Buddhist
No, it's a
tome?
story. No, it's a story. I didn't quite get to the end of it. I was just doing some research. I was coming along this thing. I was like, it's interesting.
Never heard that. Usually, if you watch that movie with Tony Jai, his first movie, and about the elephant and everything, all it was it's a Buddhist tome. Yeah, it's a Buddhist tome. The entire movie is nothing more than a Buddhist tome.
Yeah.
Is it kind of like Circle of Iron in that sense?
Kind of. Yeah. Before we go, I mean, let's get into it. Like, what are some of you guys' favorite martial arts shows or movies? Keith, like, what is your number one favorite
Oh, geez.
action
You put me on the spot.
martial arts?
I'd have to say, you know what? Enter the Dragon, because of when I saw it.
Armor of God.
What about you? What?
Armor of God, Jackie Chan.
Armor of God. Who was in that? Was that Ryan Gosling?
I just said Jackie Chan.
Oh, Jackie Chan. What was the story on that? I don't remember this.
It was Operation Condor 2 in the United States, even though it's the first one. Basically, there's this thing called the Armor of God, and this cult believes if they get the armor, they'll get ultimate power. So they kidnap basically the girlfriend, because Jackie Chan used to be in a Hong Kong band, and he's basically kind of a mix of Indiana Jones and James Bond. And there's just absolutely crazy action sequences where literally like he's infiltrating the cult and he's like parkouring up and down things to like hide from him. And then at a point he gets into a huge ass fight in their actual dining hall. At one point he literally grabs a just giant log and just is like running it back and forth. The ending of it is the ultimate killing machines that the cult has is a bunch of black women who proceed to actually kind of scare the shit out of him because they're constantly trying to kick him in the junk. And so he has to maneuver because they're wearing high heels so that they get stuck so he can actually fight them. It's great. And the climax is one of the best parts. He has dynamite, he lights it, goes to throw, shoot it out, and they look out, it's like, ha. You think, lights it again, goes about thing, and then he goes put out, but he has multiple sticks on him, and one of the airlines gets caught. So the entire ending is he blows everything up completely by accident.
Wow. Sounds good.
It's also the movie he nearly died making.
Oh, really?
Man.
Oh, when he got hit, his head got hit, and he got that hole in his head. Martin, what's yours?
That's a tough question. You're asking me to choose which one.
Well, you've had two other people in front of you. You had time to think.
No, man. I would go with the fun factor then, and randomly jump out to the one. Oh no,
The Jet Li one?
Yeah, the Jet Li one. But no. I would have to say that my favorite martial arts movie is Gorgeous with Jackie Chan when he fights.
I like that fight scene with the kid.
Yes,
the
it's
white guy.
absolutely lightning
One of the
fast.
best fight scenes I've ever seen is between those two. That is a great fight scene. Yeah, I wholly agree with you. Gorgeous is a silly romantic comedy, but my God, it's got a good fight scene in it. It's sort of like the roof type fight with Who Am I?
Oh,
remember that one where he loses who he is, forgets who he is, gets amnesia, and that rooftop fight. Oh my God! And it ends up doing that fantastic slide down the angled windows of the building, this skyscraper. God damn,
Dude, the chat is on fire with movies. You should read these.
The
Protector.
I'll get into it in a second. I want to get the Pope.
Okay, go.
Your turn.
All right. For serious ones, I would probably go with I don't think this movie was that popular at the time, but it was a Van Damme film called The Quest.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I remember that movie where he joins the French Foreign Legion. Yeah, Roger Moore's in that.
Roger, yeah.
Yeah. And then for parody ones, gotta go with Kentucky Fried Movie on that.
Oh, really? Okay,
Dude, not
it's a good
not
movie.
even Kung Pao.
Oh,
No,
it's so fucking stupid. I love it though.
If you want amazing martial arts comedy, I have two recommendations for wildly different reasons. One, Shaolin Soccer.
Yes.
And two,
Yeah,
because
it's a fun movie. We're getting a sequel.
Because it's the bloodiest movie ever. And it has the best title ever for a stupid movie. Ricky O, the story of Ricky.
Oh.
And they're spelled so differently.
The intestine scene.
If you've never seen
Anima? Anima? Are you here still?
I think that her cats finally got to her.
Hater. I've always worried about that. Oh well. Oh, there goes another great girlfriend.
What are you talking about?
What is it so far? What has been your favorite? What has been your favorite action fight movie that I've showed you? Because I doubt you ever watched one before me.
I've seen some, but
Do you have a favorite
action thing?
Yeah, well, they do a lot of martial arts in their fighting, like John Wick. You can say John Wick, and it would be right up. I hate saying this up the right alley because someone will go, "Oh, backdoor reference," but
yeah, well, this is about
but
me,
it
not you.
is
So
up
screw
the
the
right alley.
back door.
Yeah.
Screw each other. It's not about you. Yeah. Probably John Wick. Although
Would you
Jackie Chan's
would you
pretty
say
cool
John
too.
Wick? Oh, Jackie Chan is awesome.
Yeah, I've seen some of his movies and they were pretty cool. I just can't think of any right now, like names of movies. It's not
Describe
really my
one,
genre.
and then
I'm
I'll
not really
give you
at
the name.
home. I'm not really at
The
home in
Raid.
that genre.
Yes, the Raid. I have it on the chat.
She's gonna see that. She has not seen it yet.
Oh,
we're
I'm
gonna
sorry.
watch it tonight. We're gonna watch that tonight, Anima. Before you go
No,
to
we're
bed,
not.
The Raid.
No, we're
It
not going to watch
is
that. Because
the martial arts equivalent to Judge Dredd movie, which you loved.
oh, yes, I did.
The Raid is just like it. And it's so weird because they came about at the same time. I do not believe there was an ounce of stealing here. I believe it is absolute coincidence here. It's not like Deep Impact versus that other meteor movie.
What? Armageddon. Deep Impact versus Armageddon.
Armageddon.
Oh, no,
there
I was
was
thinking Dante's
stealing going
Peak.
on. There was
and Volcano.
stealing going on with those two films. But The Raid and Dread just happened at the same time, and it's amazing. Okay, I'm going to give you mine. I can tell you right now, two of my favorite martial artists that are active, and don't get me wrong, I love Jet Li, Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, all that. But my favorite are Donnie Yen and Tony Jai when it comes to fighting action. They're two of my
Kung Fu
favorites.
Killer?
But my number one favorite, this one's going to be out of the blue for you, is fucking Jason Statham.
Real.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I love Jason Statham's martial arts, his fighting techniques.
is amazing.
And I got to tell you, despite the fact that my girlfriend didn't like it, I love The Transporter, the first film.
Good movie, yeah.
And I consider it one of the, you hated it. You hated it.
Dude.
We didn't even finish it. You were so annoyed.
Yeah. If we
The fight
didn't
on the
finish it-
oil.
Oh my God. The fight
fight
scenes
on
with
the-
him, he is absolutely a great martial artist. And even though I don't think he's ever done competitive martial arts, he should have, because my God, his kicks are good. And he's really good at what he does. I mean, God damn, Sylvester Stallone damn near killed him because he's doing his own stunt in it. Expendables 4 when he went off the edge, or was that 3? That was 3. Where he went off the platform into the water and was damn near drowned. But because he was an Olympic swimmer, he was able to get out and hold his breath. lot of people don't know that he was an Olympian. Jason
Yes,
Statham.
I think he was a
Olympic
diver,
athlete.
Olympic diver.
I thought he was a soccer player.
Diver,
But
but he's a swimmer. No, that's Vinnie Jones.
oh yeah,
Yeah, Vinnie
that is
Jones
Vinnie Jones.
played football, and Jason Statham was aquatics. He was a water boy.
Dude,
God. He killed me for making a joke.
we gotta do this. We have to show the selection of the chats. It's man, they are on fire.
Let me do that and we're out of here. All right. Let me let's see. Enjoyed Kung Fu, The Legend Continues. That was in the 90s. I remember that. Kickboxer, Bloodsport, fun movies. Bloodsport, based on a bullshit story, but I loved it. That guy, what is his name? Frank
Dukes.
Duke.
Frank's Dukes.
Yeah, Dukes. So full of shit. Guy is an absolute pathological liar. He's dead now, as I recall. I think he died in the 2000s, late 90s. But anyway, absolute bullshit artist. He's like, yes, I fought in Kumite.
However, he has the record for fastest kick with knockout. That is on record. That one is true.
I don't mind that. Well, I'm not saying he wasn't a martial artist. I know he was, but he had some bullshit going on with him. The whole, because he's also the same when it started ninjutsu, right? Isn't that him? I'm not thinking the other.
No.
What is that dude that started ninjutsu? God, what a fucking psycho.
Ooh.
Okay, let me get back to these fucking things here. Let's see. Was the band called Out of Sync? I get the joke. Good one, Tim. Mortal Kombat 95 is one of the best. I enjoyed the martial arts, although the film annoyed me. The Undisputed Flicks with Scott Adkins. I think that any film with Scott Adkins is good. I agree.
Anyone.
Just for the fight scenes. It's worth the price of admission just to see him kick the shit out of somebody. The one where he runs a bar. The one where he runs a bar and he beats the shit out of the guys in the bar at the end. A great film. I love that franchise. Love how they take the antagonists from each movie and make them the protagonist of the next one. What's he talking about? Oh, Undisputed. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. They started with Wesley Snipes and Ving Rhames, which I've seen that one. I don't think I've seen any of the other ones. I wish Warner Archive would release Kung Fu The Legend Continues as a complete series. Dude, they would get picketed if they did. I guarantee you. That's why they haven't done it. A Long Goodbye. Actually, the movie The Long Goodbye is really a good film, Penny. I like The Quest. I'm a sucker for tournament movies. Again, that's one where he's in French Foreign Legion. It is very similar to Bloodsport. I'm also a fan of Jean-Claude Van Damme. Let's see. Return of 18 Bronze Men. Never seen that one. I'm a big fan of Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. He had to learn. He's a dancer. And Jason Scott Lee had to learn to do martial arts for that film. And he ended up picking up so well, he's still good at it. He still practices.
Yeah, it really helps when you're a trained dancer. It's so much easier to get into martial arts because you have
dancers
dancers
do such a good job in having to do martial arts.
Because they're used to choreography.
The best one is definitely The Last Dragon. Oh my God, The Last Dragon.
No.
I love that movie. Bruce Leroy.
More power to you.
If you like Jean-Claude, have you seen JCVD?
Oh, yes.
Yes, I have.
JCVD.
Dude, The Raid. That's a dramatic film, and I do like that film. Show enough. That's right. You damn right. That's one of the best. So, War Monkey agrees with you. Who is the master? Shogun of Harlem? Of course. You know who that is. Kiss My Converse. I think that's a line from the movie too, isn't it? Armageddon is superior. Armageddon is the more action-filled, but Deep Impact is the better story. Carter Wong. Who the fuck is Carter Wong? I don't know what that is. Martin, help me out here. You want me to do this. Who's Carter Wong?
Looking.
Real quick, 2 South Korean suggestions. 1, The Villainous. And if you want to see a really well
Yes,
done
I've seen it. It's a very good
show,
film.
Carter Wong is the actor that.
movie,
The actor that.
Part 1.
The actor that.
The actor that played one of the storms in Big Trouble in Little China, the big one that.
Fuck yeah! I love that movie. Love that movie. I'm looking forward to Donnie Yin's movie adaptation of Kung Fu. I am too. The Staith is awesome. You damn Skippy. Damn Skippy. It was 3. Thank you, Wolverine. I thought it was because that's the one with Wesley Snipes is in it. Ip Man movies with Donnie Yen are awesome. They're awesome. They're bullshit, but goddamn, they're great to watch. The first movie that I ever saw Jason Statham in was Ghosts of Mars. What a horrible, and I'm a big John Carpenter fan. And I ended a friendship over that fucking movie because back in 2017, a friend of mine on Facebook says, "Hey man, you need to go back and watch Ghost of Mars. I know you're critical of that movie, but I went back and watched it. You know what? It's a lot better than I remember." I don't know, man. No, seriously, go do it. And I said, "Would you put our friendship at risk over this? Would you do that?" He said, "Yeah, man, you'll love it." I watched it, and then I went in and I sent him a message. I said, "Friendship over," and I unfriended him and blocked him. I'm like, "You motherfucker, you made me waste 2 hours on that." It is a horrible movie. And they had a great cast. Dukes is still very much alive. It's the guy who created the
so even if he's dead, what's bullshit?
He lied about
even his death is
lying.
bullshit. I thought he was too. Think he was. Well, I may be confusing him with or conflating him with the other dude because they're both fucking snow artists, bullshit artists. They ended up in Kung Fu magazine, and it really hurt Kung Fu magazine's reputation having those two guys in it. I love the cheese fest known as Lionheart. Yeah, dude, same. Isn't that the same year as The Quest? Because I was in the army when both came out. Undisputed, like Ving Rhames played the bad guy in the first, then in the second he was recast, but so he played a different character in the second film, not the same character. Okay, that makes sense. Bruce Lee's Warrior series, aka the Rogue Kung Fu series.
The Quest came 6 years after Lionheart.
Now, what he did another movie the same year he did Lionheart.
Checking.
Oh, by the way, there's a really hilarious audio mix some people did where they took the fights from Lionheart, but they put Street Fighter music and sound effects behind them, and it works really well.
Yes, Lionheart and Death Warrant were in the 1990.
Yeah, they both came out while I was in the army because I saw both on post. All right, there you go. I was just trying to talk to my bro into watching Warrior yesterday. I watched it. I had a problem with some of it, but overall I enjoyed it. Don't forget Mel Gibson was in the Expendables 3 playing a bad guy. He damn Skippy. He was good too.
Oh yeah.
He earned that death.
Banshee.
Oh yeah. I used to own Lionheart. Let's see.
Banshee has great action.
A great show. Keith says Keith is right. Bruce Lee's Warrior is fantastic. Better than phony Kung Fu. I love it when Keith is talking in the third person. That's awesome.
He's
Keith
right.
does not have to put up with this. Keith knows.
Keith does know.
He does.
So there we go. There was this one weird movie that Jean-Claude Van Damme did called Replicant that I actually enjoyed. I enjoyed the film. low budget sci-fi martial arts film. One of my favorite films that he did was back in the 80s, where he plays, I think he's the android.
Cyborg.
And he ends up blinding that other actor.
He wasn't the android.
Universal Soldier.
No. I will find it here. Cyborg.
Or what they were.
Yeah, Cyborg. He was human.
I thought he was the cyborg, but anyway,
no,
it's been
he
a long
was
time
human.
since I've seen it. I just remember that there was a huge lawsuit that he had to pay for that guy's injuries because he destroyed his eye.
He popped the eyes out of one eye out of the skull of that guy,
and it's in the movie. The
Mhm.
kick and the hit, it's in there. It's a hell of a move, but he made contact. So, but I don't know, man. I'm out of wind. You guys out of wind yet? I'm out of wind.
That's it. Show's over.
When Scotsman says it's over, it's over.
You surely take your time.
Hey,
to
Anima,
say
is he joining
goodbye.
us tomorrow? Did you say
Yes,
he's
he
joining
said-
us?
He said he
Yeah,
wants to.
because Greg is
I
out,
have to
so I'm going to make him co-host. Let him know he is my co-host on the show tomorrow. He's
Who?
sitting in for Tom.
He told me he wants to be there
Ooh.
as the comic relief crusader. Brian, I talked to both of them in my lunch break about tomorrow's show, and they both.
This
say
is
they
an
really
A
want-
and B conversation. See your way out of it, Martin.
See you later, alligators.
Gary, you tell him he's
But
the co-host.
in the end-
I'm not texting anyone tonight anymore.
I'm just going to do it. You don't tell me what to do.
Hey, that's my line.
I just started a new job. I work my ass off, and it's 1 fucking a.m. So you do your show.
It looks like she works for.
I
I swear to God, guys, it looks like she works for Target. She wears one of those bright red shirts, golf shirts,
I'm a red
polo
shirt,
shirt.
Gary, weren't we supposed to be ending a show?
red shirt.
Yeah, like half an
I
hour.
forgot what we were
Roger.
doing.
And just like that, Shinatsky was gone. Oh, you didn't kick him. Oh.
You're too lazy. You can't even kick me right.
I said it, and I just figured Martin would take the lead and go, "Oh, get him the fuck out of here." No.
I'll do it
So,
myself.
yeah, we're out of
thank
here,
you.
guys.
You're not your slaves.
I will kick myself. It's like that bathroom scene with Jim Carrey. It's like, haven't you ever seen somebody kick their own ass? I'm kicking my own ass. Anyway, we're out of here, guys. Have a great weekend. Don't forget we have Tom and Gary tomorrow. Of course, sadly, Tom is house hunting right now. It's stuff's come up and he's got to go take care of things. So he's going to sit out the show. We're trying to get Greg to sit in for his seat, but Brian's going to be taking a seat, and I'll talk to Brian about it. So everybody have a great Friday. Don't forget, you've got a lot of shows coming up tonight, including Friday Night Frolics with Doomcock and Late Night with Loki and Snow. I might show up. If I'm ready.
What?
Yeah.
Man,
I might
I'm
show
so
up.
glad Loki is
Because that's the
back,
problem with that
because
show
they
is
tried to cancel
it's
him.
so late that I have to get a nap in because I'm old and I.
What?
Yeah. When
Loki didn't have a show
when
last
I
week
was a
because
boy,
they
we
tried to
didn't have
cancel it.
shoelaces. We tied our shoes with onion skins and cried while doing it.
Oh, that's old.
Old. So yeah, we're the fuck out of here. Everybody have a great Friday. Bye now.
See ya.